going to be inside this place like this, whatever I input. Meaning that if I should run this code now, if I put this number here, you know that I'm putting a text, I mean an integer, and definitely this is a string, and this int is being programmed. All right. So if I want to now make this my 3.5, which is a floating number, to come out as a floating number, I have to change it to float. That is why you see this float here. If I put float here, whatever I put here, it will come here. Then I will now convert it to float. So when I print the type, it's going to be float. Let me show you. So you will see that there is no magic here. All right, let me run this code now. Enter pressure. Okay, enter pressure 1. Enter pressure 2. Let me run the code again. Enter pressure 1. I'll put 3.4. I will say press enter. You ask enter pressure 2. I will still put 3.4. I'll press enter. What is pressure 1 now? 1 is float, 1 is string, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, do we know why 1 is float and why 1 is string?
Yes, sir.
Because in this float, now I've said I want to convert. Remember, this is the topic is type convert. I want to convert this input to float because I put float there. So I already know how to put float. So I'm expecting float. It's going to give me a string if I know convert it to float. And that is why the first one is what? Float. Second one is string. The same thing, if I want to make it to be an integer, I don't want the guy to be a floating number. If I want the code, first one is going to be 330.5. Second one is going to be 300. If I want the code, I'm going to have 1 float, 2 integer, because that's what I want to put. So this is how you can convert what you are doing after which you have been using input function. So that you don't say, let me tell you the problem where this is going to give you a problem if you don't convert. Let me tell you. So if you don't convert, I'm going to have something like this. Okay, so I say print pressure 2 times, this guy is not correct too. Pressure 2 times 4. I want to print pressure 2 times 4, right? What do I want to print?
Pressure 2 times 4.
Yeah, so if I run this code now, it's asking me pressure 2. I will put 4 as my pressure 2. So I believe that 4 times 4 will be what? 16. If you run this code now, it will print out 16. Now remember, I put int here. Yeah, let me show you the drill that will happen now. If I remove this and I run this code, I want to do the same thing, the same process. There's nothing I change. I just remove int. If I put 4 here, I'm expecting 16, right?
Yes, sir.
If I run the code, what will you tell me?
4.
Yeah, this is going to tell me 4. coming. Oh. So okay, what this one means
I've
that
tried
I want to
showing
get this. I want to write this string
this is
three
the full
times.
screen that it
That's what this
showed
one
me.
means. This string, I want
This is
to
the full
repeat it
screen that it
three
showed me.
times.
If I
Get
exit
the
this
point,
full
Abby?
screen now,
Don't worry,
my
just come.
tax bar
That,
is
that is
going
not
to
what I
be
want to
showing. But
achieve.
when I put full screen, this
Perfect.
is
This,
what
this
is
is what I
brought
want to
out.
achieve here. That times it means another thing in Python. That is why it was like that. Okay, so let me go back again. I want to show you the implicate of that guy if you don't put int there. So remember, we are doing with pressure 2. I will print the type of pressure 2 and I will solve this problem. Now, if I want this code, I want to put 8. 8 minus 4. I want to put 6. 6 minus 4 is what? 2, Abby?
Yes, sir.
If I want this code, the type of 6 is what? Int. And I have 6 minus 4, 2. Now, if I should move this, int here now, and I run the code like that, without putting it, I don't convert. If I run the code, you see that it's going to be a string. And that string minus 4 is not possible. You cannot write Anthony minus 4 is not possible. Now, this first line run, it brought out string. But when the second line want to run, it gave an error. What is the error? Unsupported operand, string and int. Meaning that you want to use string to minus int. It's not done. So you go and do your programming, go and be working as in Google or Microsoft, and just this one thing to convert, to put it here to make sure that this thing converts well, it will be a problem for you. You cannot say Anthony minus 4. It's not done now. It's not done. So Anthony is a string. I just say string minus 4. So you have to convert this guy to int if they are putting number. All right. So the main aim here is just to teach you how to convert what conversion, and that main aim has been achieved. Now, if I put 20.76 here, if I run the code, it's going to give me a float because why? I've converted this string to float because it's supposed to come as a string before. So if you want to change this string now to anything, maybe like this, you can put int, it will work. You can put float will go. We have int, we have float, we have boolean. We have string, yeah. So it's already a string, so we end up converting to a string again. All right, so that is it. Just I guess you understand what I did here, and there's no magic. There's no magic. Let's go to the next one. Comparison operators. Now observe, remember that I'm teaching you these guys, I'm just showing you how to use Python, how to learn Python. You will not be very good or master it if you don't practice ahead. So it's a normal thing, everything that has to do with they will teach you mathematics, you have to go and solve more questions like past question and the rest. If not, exam period will still be flopping. So it's a normal thing. So you have to go and practice. You have learned it. Before you learn it, you cannot go and practice, but now you have learned it, you can practice. All right, so comparison operators. We have greater than this. All this you are learning now, it is general in all programming languages. There's no different. Like I mean, like what you are doing, the writing can be different, the syntax can be different, the syntax, meaning how you write can be different, but what you are doing is the same thing. If you pick C++ now, or you pick Java, you are going to scatter it now. If provided what you want to do is what you are doing, not something different, it's the same thing. All right. So comparison operator, we have greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. This is just our normal maths. There's not much words to be said here, but we use them in programming. For example, our pressure is 3,500. Now print pressure equal to 3,000. Now, if this is equal to 3,000, it's going to tell you true. If not, it's going to tell you false. So, what are we expecting? Is it true or false? Okay, so if I should run this code, it is true. So they ask, it is true that pressure is actually equal to 3,000. If I say pressure greater than or equal to 3,000, if I should run this code, what are we going to be having? True, because it is actually greater than, even though it is not equal to. If I say pressure less than 3,000, equal. All right, that. So if statement. So let me tell you, for example, let me first give you some story. If you see, I'm already using the word if in normal English. If you want to come to my house and I'm expecting you to in my house today, then I just write to my AI system that I just want only this guy's face to come. I just want only this face in my house today. I'm expecting this face. Is either this face show up or this name show up. So I will collect your name, your full name, and your face ID and put on my system. Then I'll tell you that if this guy show up today, open the gate for him or her to pass. Else means if not this person, ring an alarm or open the gate, the cage of the dog to come and chop this person or lion or chase that person out, or just lock the gates, don't allow anybody to enter unless it is this person. So if there is a condition, it has to be your face or your name. When you say what's your name, you type your name, or you go out, you don't want to. Now that decision making that I'm telling my AI to do, this is where I want to program it. This is where the programming comes in. If statement. Now we make decisions. Let's say pressure is equal to float input. So we want to put a floating number. Enter where pressure. We know that pressure can be in PSI, can be in millimeter mercury, and it can be in atmosphere. So we always use float so that you can be in a safer hands. If I put 3.5 PSI now, and you go and put int here, it's going to change that 0.5 to integer, and you won't see points again. I will have altered our data. So it's better to be in safer side and put float. If you put int, it's still going to work. I guess you get my point. Now, I say enter the web pressure, and I was not asking if the pressure is greater than 3,000. Print warning pressure, meaning that this pressure is very high for our system. We don't need such pressure. So let us run the code and see whether our AI, our if statement is going to work. Enter web pressure. So I want to enter the pressure now. I will put 2,000 and run the code. So as I press enter, you see that by the left, that's right 11 seconds, our code has run, but nothing was printed out. Now, the reason nothing was printed out is because the fact that I was telling him that only if the pressure is greater than 3,000, that's where to print running. High pressure. But is this 2,000 greater than 3,000? It's not greater, right? So print running. Cannot be running. If I run the code again now, put 5,000 here now as our pressure. If I run the code, you're going to see what? High pressure. Because why? Our pressure now is now greater than 3,000. So when this 5,000 comes, when you put this, if you put 5,000 inside here, I want to show you how this thing works. If you put 5K inside here, the 5K is going to turn to what? Floating number. To now change to what? 5,000, like this. Then this 5,000 now will not come here. It will not compare. If this 5,000 is greater than this one, it will not say what? True. It's true now. It's greater than that. Then once it is true, we should just come to the next line because it's true. The next line will now execute. It will now say warning, high pressure. But if I put 2,000 here, it will come. This is 2,000. Change this thing to float. Float is decimal now, so we change to float 2,000.0. Then it will come here. If this 2,000 is greater than 3,000, to look at it, false. It's actually not true. It's false. So once it is false, it is not true now. So the code will break here. It will break here. It will stop here. It will not go to the next line. It will stop here because the if statement. It is a if. So there is no way you expect the code to continue. To just stop here. And once it stop here, meaning that it's never came down. It never came down here. So that means this code will never run. This down one will never run. Right, so let me show you. So you see it again. Now I want to run the code now. Because see, I'm having. I don't know what I wrote there before, but let me just put input pressure.
Enter well pressure.
Okay.
No, you don't make much money, sir. Move, go normal.
I run the guy.
Is it to be your assistant?
I will say 300, 200. So I put 200.
No.
You see that code has run 5 seconds. So you came here. 200 is no greater. The code will break. Just break here. You break. You don't come down. If I run the code again now, and I put 4,000, to see that it will not break, it will continue. Let me run the code. If I put 4,000, it says a warning. That is what? Pressure is very high. Now, this is how we use if statement. But if you observe, when we're doing it, even though the code was smaller than 3,000, at least we want to see something printed out to tell us that this code, the pressure is normal pressure, or normal working temperature, or normal working pressure. So we need to have that kind of interaction so that let's assure that, it is not high. So how can we do that? We will come to else. That's why we use if
Hello,
else.
sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, this if statement, I'm trying to run it on my Google Colab, but it's bringing out error.
Yeah, I will have to calm down. I will attend to you. There should be a reason why it's bringing out error, but I won't attend to that now. So for me to attend to you, I will do that by explaining here. There is something that I should have done. But I was looking at because I already brilliant, like guru. It's not like I'm not brilliant, but like I was already assuming a little bit. I didn't go to that point. Now look at it here. I might answer your question now without me looking at it. Let me show you how if statement is being initiated. So when you want to do yours, you already know what you are doing. If you want to make a statement, if statement, if you observe, I'm using if, not capital. This now I want to start teaching you like the way I was teaching you guys in that print. like as if you guys have not used Python before. Now look at capital. I'm using if small letter if not capital letter. I'm using everything small letter. If you see the color is different. So this input did not give me error. This other input gave me error. To tell you that there's something that Python recognizes here. They don't recognize the other ones. They recognize this input because this guy is going to give me a function. Now, same to this if. You have to press if, then put your condition here. That which you have written your condition, you put tom colon. Do tom must be there. There must be a column there. You don't put tom, you have not start, you have not make a condition. Because this tom will end the condition. After which I put your column, you press enter. Then you now put your words. You write what you want here, like the body of the condition, like what you want to execute.
Okay.
This condition execution, I'm just saying it because of why I know what it's supposed to be. It's not as if I read it from anywhere. So once you know something, you know what to say. Now you put your condition here and you execute what you want to do here. So this is like what do you call it? General formula in organic chemistry. General formula for all if anything you want to do like if. So now if you look at this guy here now, this condition is this. That's our condition. Execution is this guy here. What I want to execute. So now if I say if I say if boy print yes. Now I will say input. I will say sex. Input. Sex. Just come on. Now watch. Sex, input, sex. Now I'm asking for the sex. If male, print yes. So you see that I say if I put my condition male and I put my my column there, I press enter and I say my print yes. Now if I should run this code now, it's going to know check whether this my sex here is male. If sex equal to male, sorry, this is my condition because I want to check whether if this sex here is equal to male. If it's not male, it's not print here. So if I run the code now, it's asking me this guy. I don't want this guy. Let me just enter anything and continue. So you see that I put a string there, SIL. I give my error because you cannot change string to float, especially a number. I guess that was already a very nice example, a very nice error. Thank God that error came. I'm talking about this float here. I cannot be putting SLD. They won't change to the decimal. Definitely it's going to give me an error. So thank God that error came. You have learned that one. So let me run this code now. It's asking me sex. I put male. If I run this, if I continue, it said yes. Because why? This my sex I put here now is male. So this sex turned to male. It come here is asking me remember it's a string. Remember I need to put that input to the string. So male is equal to male. If is this equal? Yes. Huh?
Elisa.
Yes.
Yeah, someone said is lost. Someone said he is lost. This is lost. Someone said he's lost. Like he's not understanding.
The person I know. Thank you for actually saying that. Thank you. Well, let the person move some minds. Let the person. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, let the person some mic. Remember, I already told you guys that I'm not in this environment. I'm in the other place. So whatever you're typing, I'm not seeing it. All right. So let the person unmute their mic, please, and say. So I believe other people are following me. Follow me. You have to unmute your mic and tell me yes or no. So now what I'm trying to explain here is that this column is very important. You put your condition here. So imagine that I've not written anything here at all. This is the main thing that we have here. So forget about if you are lost, maybe before I'm doing that, forget about that. These are main stuff here. If you understood this one, you're good to go. Now pressure is greater than 3,000. You have to put your tom first. Then you press enter and write what you want to write, your function. Now if you observe, when I press enter, it will not take me to the same line with if. No. So I press enter, there's a dentation there, indent. They call that indent. So this like is a block function, as if it's not like a block, as if it's not like a block. It will always be like this. So whatever I'm writing here is going to be under this if. That is what I want to execute. That is if it is greater than 3,000. You observe, it is not the same line with this if. It is inside the if. That's a block function, like a block statement. All right, so I want to make it very interactive with you guys. If you come this else now, let us see. Pressure is equal to float input enter web pressure. If pressure is greater than 3,000, print one in high pressure. Else means if you are not the one coming to my house, you should allow the dog to bite you. So else print pressure is normal. So remember here there's no else, but here now there's else. And if you look at, if you observe, the way you initiate if statement, you have to put your if, put your condition, and put your your column. You press enter, write what you want to execute. Now when you want to put the else has to be the same line with the if. Look at how you write your else, E-L-S-E. Else, you put your tom, then you press enter like this, like normal enter, the way you did it for the other one. Then put your condition, just like the same process. If I run this code now, enter web pressure, and now put 2,000. You say pressure is normal. Should be 6. Pressure is what? Normal. If I run the code again, I enter 3,000. You say pressure is what? Normal. Because it's not greater than 3,000. It is not greater than 3,000. If I run the code now, and I press 4,000, tell him that high pressure. Now, let me show you something here. If you observe, I put /n here. I don't know, people that are doing programming, people that are using AI now, they must be seeing this /n now in normal writing. /n means new line. It is from coding. That's why it came to program to normal writing now. Some of us are using /n in our writing. They don't know what it means, or they don't know where it came from. It has been used in coding all this while. So if I run this code now, you see that running high pressure did not give me a space before high pressure. You just put high pressure under. But if I put normal pressure, it's going to give me a space because of this new line. If I run the code, you will see if I put 40 to come down. This new line, this guy here, /n is new line /n. That is what gives this space here. This space in between this 40 and normal pressure. Pressure is normal. If I remove that /n and run the code again and put 40, you're going to see that it's not going to give me space. It's going to be like this. So you have learned something now. You have learned /n. All right. So if I want to prove that to you, I can say pressure is normal. I will now write the pressure. I say pressure is normal. I write the pressure like this. I want to code. I believe nobody will tell me that what I'm doing now is a magic to them. See, pressure is normal, and you write, you print out the pressure 400.0. Hope we know why this 0.0 is here. Look at tell me why it is 0.0. Look at why is it not just 400, but I put 400.
It's because we want to close number.
Perfect. Now go school. So now, yeah. So if I want to prove to you that /n, I'll put this guy here now. /n, that will run the code. I put 400. I run the code. 400 is what? Normal. You see that this guy that's come down is a new line. So it's automatic proof. All right, that is fine. Let us go of that. So we'll go to if else and else. Now, this is you writing multiple conditions. When you want to write multiple conditions, this guy here now, we are only using if and else. Whether you go to school today or you don't go. If you go, you don't go, it's up to you. If you rain fall, it doesn't fall, it's up to you. Only two conditions. But we can say three conditions. Either you listen to music, you play football, or you go and do survey, or you go and do 10. Three conditions, there are different things you can do. All right. So let us go for multiple conditions. That's when we use if, else, if, and else. Look at the spelling, you. They're not writing. This is not a movie. All this movie title. It's if, else, if, and else. Okay. Let us go. Multiple conditions. Now, example, temperature monitoring system. Remember, our temperature is in floats. Input, enter web temperature. We go. Here we go. If temperature is greater than 120 degrees Celsius, I mean, this should, okay, we don't know whether it is Celsius or Kelvin, we don't know. But let us see. If it is, okay, let us believe it is Celsius because this is like 100. So, yeah, Celsius. And boiling point is 100 degrees. So, if temperature is greater than 120, this is like critical temperature. You cannot put your hand there. Your hand will just fry. All right. So, else. Like if temperature is greater than 120, print critical temperature. Else, if this else, if so this thing is else if let me say it well. No, some people already grab it, but some people will not grab it. This else. If you see that there's no mistake here, there's no error, this guy still work. When I press F is if it did not give me error. If I press else, and I press if, it's not the same. If I press else, if I press if else, see that you don't write any color. See, it's not colored. So, but this one else if there's color, the meaning that it makes sense. So this else if is the same thing as this one. They just shorten the word. They remove this SE and carry that if come together. Is now else if. That is this guy here. So don't need of cramming. Now, if temperature is equal to 120, print critical temperature. Else, if temperature is equal to 100, print high temperature. Else, print normal temperature. This is a normal thing now. So all of us don't do. Okay, that seems good. But some people that are graduates, they have done calculate all these things, tired and graduate, so they don't calculate tired. So this should be normal. This should be normal thing they are doing. So let's say temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. What are we expecting to be printed out? Our temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. Normal. So why is it that it's pretty normal? How would this guy fly from critical temperature, high pressure, and now come down. Why?
I think it's because of based on the instructions. The first one says it should be greater than 120. The second one says it should be greater than 100. So if it's not greater than 100, that's if it's not between 100 to 120 and not greater than 120, then if it's below 100, it should be normal.
All right, so that is fine. So you see that is listening to instructions. What do we say we want to learn today, Seth? We say that we want to learn input and decision making, energy monitoring system. Right? We already learned what we want to learn. You see, there's no juju in this thing. So now, where is the guy? Let us print it again. Let's say our pressure now is like 105. What are we expecting to print out?
High temperature.
High temperature.
So we are seeing high temperature printed out. Because why? It's not above 120, it's still within 100 to 1.
No, me, I never tied the right hand.
120 and me. It's still within 100 to 120. So if I want to ask you guys, now let me just see. So what if I say 120, what will print out?
Critical
Critical
High
temperature.
temperature.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's high because for the critical, it has to be
Yeah, it's print out item.
High temperature. Let's see now. Let's see the Jew people want to do now. So what do we print?
critical temperature.
120 now, print critical
Now
critical
don't
temperature.
I don't agree for me at all.
No, to
All right,
print
so you
critical
see how
because
nice
is greater
something
is equal greater than equals to.
with this now, you're working your and that's those true. Just go
It's greater than
there and
equals
do
to.
this thing for them. The lie, I don't get money from this. But this normal. This how you do the rest. Like if you can do this is how you do the rest. So this how you do your ChatGPT, your bad, your Gemini. If you tell Gemini that you should explain the meaning of temperature, can you explain the meaning of pressure for you now? You should know what is temperature and what is pressure. So it has its own sense. All these things part of how they do all those things. From this small thing, you know how to build your own AI system. All right, so we move ahead. I don't know if anybody like the other girl that said that she's lost. I don't know if she was very find what I was doing before then. That was why she couldn't grab up. But if you are okay now, it's fine. If you're not okay, you have to unmute your mic and say, "Oh, I'm not even the Google Meet platform. I'm not even see what you guys are doing there at all." So if you like type or if you like react, say good, react good emoji or bad emoji, I won't see it. I'm not seeing there. So please unmute your mic and say something so I can catch up with you. Anybody or anybody. All right. So we're in the exercise now. Exercise mini student project and solution. All right. So today is done. We are big boys and big girls already. So this is not hard. So let us continue. We are in. I can hear you.
I don't know, but I've been seeing floats. Okay, let's say for this one, this else statement. If you temperature equal to floats, then input well. So I'm saying, what if we're not putting floats? We just ignore the float. I just put input well infrared temperature. Like we need allow us to enter any variable at all, both alphabet, anything. Is that what it is?
Okay, so it says what if we don't put floats, Abby?
Yeah, we need a float, yeah, because I think float is like directly. So let's assume we want to see input your name. Let's assume that we want to put. So I think can we just remove the float and leave it like that, almost put another command there to direct it to the name.
Okay, now if you are putting only integers into the input function, you cannot put, it's not a must to put float, you can put something else, something like int. But if you want to just leave it like that and not put float at all, you just want to run it like that, it's not going to work. Oh. If you remove that float from there and run it, I'm going to have an error. And I'm going to show you why. But if I show you why, I want someone else to answer in why is it that if you do not put float there, it's not going to work. Why? Who can tell us?
Let's try.
Yeah.
Because normally if I not put floats in that place now, for example, if you remove floats and you say input, the person, you can't read the person mind to know what the person wants to write. So the person might decide to type in text. The person might decide to write what is it called? Might decide to write a number. You understand? So now
interpret it to strange.
Okay, so
So if the person just input anything or maybe integer or anything, it's not going to work actually. But except if the value given is a string, and it doesn't make sense since we are working with calculation.
okay, so your name is Ahmed, right? So Ayomide, what is said was not the proper answer, but what you said is correct in terms of general inputs, like the way it is in Google Google form. In Google form, if you not specify for it to be input what they call it, integer number or email, the person can be putting email for number for email. The person might be writing text. That's a general description. So you are correct in that area. But in what you explain in this particular category is not actually the direct explanation. And Ahmed is correct. Ahmed said the exact thing I was supposed to say. The Python will always see whatever you put in this input as a string. It will always be a string because it is always going to be wrapped inside here. Look at this guy, temperature 120. It's going to be 120. That means this guy here will change to what? 120. 120 is a string, it's not an integer. If you observe here, is a string here because of there's this guy here. There's this quotation. So now, what I want to make you understand is that Ayomide might be thinking that, okay, let me know this that I don't know mind, but this guy here, this is our console here, this place that we are typing here. Nobody's saying this you are typing though. The only thing they are saying is what is printed out here. So this is your open, this is your Facebook, this is your everything, this small output here. What is here is the backend. This one is Facebook database. They will say Facebook don't hack your account. It is from here. I don't see what they're doing. So what you are seeing is only what is printed out. Now, what I mean is that so this input that is here, they cannot even know that they are expecting input or output. If you observe, when they're expecting what they call it, float or integer, they don't know that one. What they just know is that they have to put something inside the word, inside the text box. Now, if you put this, the should ask you what is temperature, you're going to put now temperature is what 4. Temperature is let me say 10. Now I'm gonna write 10 as temperature. Like you write 10 like this. Now, if that 10 enter here, it's going to enter as a string. And once that 10 enters a string, 10 will come in like this as 10. And 10 and 120 are not the same thing. You cannot be comparing string and integer. So if that person puts ordinary 10 like this, it's not going to work. You already know that. Now, if that person is not put 10, but they put 120, which is correct, 120 is going to enter as a string because it is anything input will come as a string. Now, if you carry this 120 guy now and put here, you cannot compare string and integer, and it's not going to work. So, if I leave this input like this now, and I run this code without asking for float or integer, you will see that what will come here is going to be 120. I mean, it's going to be what do you call it? String. So I put type here now. Now, if you observe, if I want this code now, this input will be expecting something. If I press enter, this type will run. This if will not run, you now have an error. So this one will run, this one will bring an error, and the code will stop. Because you cannot be expecting it to be comparing string and 120. This guy should be this. So let me run the code. I want to put 120. Let me put something else. We have 120 there. Let me put 300. If I run the code now, you see 300 came in here as 300. It came here as 300. 300 came in to this temperature as 300 as string. I'm not asking what is the type of it's very obvious now. What is the type of this guy of 300? It's very obvious that this type is what? It's a string. It's very obvious now. It's a string. That's why I see Python write string here. Now I want to put string here of 300. I need to compare 120. It's no work now. To tell you that not supported between instances, string and integer. You cannot, where are you from? You cannot work together. So the only thing you can do now, since it cannot work, is to find a possible way to do what? To make sure that when this 300 that is coming and you want to be saved in this temperature, it will save properly as what? Either int or float. So for the fact that you are putting 300, you already know that it's going to be an integer. So if I put int here and I will run this code like this now. So if I put int here now and I run this code, remember that our 300 I want to put now is going to be an integer. So it will now come here. 300 will come here as a string. This guy int, we change it. We change that string to normal 300. It will remove that string, this quotation, to move it to this. That's why this int is here, to convert this to this. Then it is now this one that will come here as type, come here to compare and continue. So sorry, I'm going to have an error here. Let me run the code now. So I'll put 300. Maybe I use it here. So it's telling me that my temperature is what? Temperature is a string. If temperature is equals to, all right, sorry. You see the mistake I do. I went to put this temperature in quotation here. Meanwhile, so that quotation does not make it recognize this one. It's now like a normal something I'm typing. That is why I have that string there. I will put my 300 again now. I run it. You see, this one now is an integer. Then it comes as an integer and continue. So why are we using integer? Why is it that I'm not using float? Every time float. Why is it compulsory? Like what you ask. Why is it float? Because remember that our guys can be anything. So I want to put my temperature now. I can tell you that my temperature is reading to 33.6. My temperature is reading 290.9. It's not a must that we are having whole number now. In fact, in life, you might not have whole number. It's always in decimal. Unless you want to learn it all by yourself. But so if you put float here, you're going to convert it to float by yourself. If you put it here and you put this, in fact, let me even do this instead. Let me try. Let me show you what is going to happen now. Let me show you what will happen now. We run the code. Now I want to put 200.6. Remember, this is 8. This is not float. If I run this code now, what is telling me? with base 10, 100.6, telling me that, Oga, what are you doing? You are meant to use float, not int. What you are putting is a floating number, not an integer. This is giving an error. It's giving me an error. I'm using int here. So to be in a safer side, our temperature, our readings will always be in decimal. We already know that one. To 2.5 psi, all those things psi. So when I run the code now, and I put 20.6, no error, because it's a floating number, normal temperature. I've spent a lot of time explaining this stuff, but I believe many people understand something here. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that float is not compulsory. It will be compulsory depending on what you want to do. And you already know that you can put int or float. It's not a must. You can put anything you want to put there. But in the server side, there isn't float. All right. So I guess this is for us to do. Everyone, please let us do this together. Production alert system. Go to your notebook and type this. Float input, enter daily production. Then if production is less than 3,000, print production drop detected. Else print production stable. That means they're expecting to be having production above 3,000 per day. If it is less, then there's a production drop in the system. I hope you are writing this. So everybody should please write this and print it out and tell me your answer. When I'm done, let me know. So why other people are actually why others are actually writing this, trying to put it out, tell me what they got. If you are still confused or you don't know what I'm doing or you want to explain something, this is the best time. Else you just keep quiet and continue doing what others are doing.
Hello, sir. Please, can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Please, I just need a little help because there's some of my friends that usually code, and most of when they see this error, it's like just get frustrated. So I want to ask that is there a way we can debug like from the error? For instance, if you the last example we did that you showed error and you're able to read a line, okay, this is the reason. That is there a way that we can read that? Okay, let us let us know what really caused that error, and is there a way you can like direct us to a line where that error occurred so we can really like it will really reduce the stress of finding the error. I don't know if you get the question.
Alright. Okay, so I don't know how your friend learns programming. I don't know how he learns. Like, I don't know how he learned, meaning that who taught him, or either he was self-taught, programming tutor, what program did he go to, like how did he learn? I don't know the process, but what I want to make you understand is that if you're learning programming from scratch or at the beginning, even though you're learning HTML and CSS, you can start from HTML and CSS, you'll be getting error, and it's very, very frustrating. The good thing about IDEs, at least Python will tell you, this one will tell you, HTML and CSS will never tell you where the error is located. Just be crying there. If you see that your code no work, your change of text or image no work, go say this development is not for me. It's not for me. But at least all these IDs here, they can tell you that look at where your problem is. You don't put comma, you want to compare string and int. In web dev, nothing like that though, unless you're using very good system, very good ID. Okay, now let me now make you understand. error is normal. And if you are going with Python or C++ or anything, some of the environments usually bring out that error. If you're using code block, in C++, that environment does not have that error stuff. Or if your code has error, okay, I think it does. All of them has error stuff. But there's one particular time. If it is Notepad, there's one particular one that look like Notepad. If you have an error, that's a business. Nobody's going to tell you where your error is located. You have to find yourself. But now, this one now is showing me an error problem. Now, let me do something that's going to make sense here. I've intentionally given an error in this code. I don't know that you saw me when I put the error. But if you see me or not, that is not the good thing to solve. The main thing is to solve the error. Now, if the person learns properly, anybody that is teaching them is going to teach them that if you are learning programming, learn how to debug very well. Debugging is the key. If you are debugging or if you have an error and you're crying, or you're frustrated that this thing again, it means that you're not learning well. Maybe you're crying while you're learning. Because if you're learning, you're going to get the error from when you start doing this stuff here. So from when you start doing this stuff here, you just do this and you print the stuff. And when you print it, you get an error. And from here you start crying. I've not started Python, I've started giving me error. Now, because of the fact that you did not put this quotation here, look at the error type, syntax error. On terminated string, literal detected at line 10. Look at this guy now. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Line 10. They no put the line here is invisible, but the guy has sense. He knows that before he can count, before he can come here. I'm already going down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See the guy now. See this guy goes school. He knows that this is 10. So IDs are very, very intelligent. That's how powerful important they can be. That stuff 9, 10 is actually an int. It's giving an expo. You see that me, I'm already used to it. That's why I know that 9, 10 is this place here. There's no way I will put it here and send me like this. So follow this 9, 10. I already give you that guy. Go and check your line of numbers. You see like anything. VS code, you see that number it. Now, this is one of another. I'm already answering you. This is 9, 10. That means that there's nothing I'm looking for here. I'm not looking for anything, these guys. I'm looking for something 9, 10. I will put this on. I want this code now. And everyone waiting. Line 8. This error. But there's another error again that is here that I will not find. If I should correct hello now again. You see another error in line 1. The line 1 in this guy here was never closed. You will close your your bracket and you want to run the code, you have to write Python. So you can see that this is an int. This is a general debugging, give debugging now. Are you learning that one? Syntax error. You know what your if you want the code to work, no error at all. You can see. Now, if about your point, get an error, and that person has now copy it and paste it in a particular file or just forget about the code and start maybe do something else or want to copy correct one online. There's no way I don't learn. So you have to calm down and follow up and see if you can solve it by yourself. You can just do the answer. Try. You can do 1 hour, you get the error problem. Let me put something here now so you see. I want this code now. Now 1, you read the line here, line 8. This is very easy for me to detect. Well, as we are going on, we are going to see errors that is not easy. then we can now be working on those ones. This one is very easy now. Now, if you observe, I put double quotes, I put single quotes here, but it's still giving an error. But in Python, you can have one code is single code and it's going to work. It's not much you can do. You can use single, it's going to work. Let me show you. If I want this code now, it's no error, it's going to work. You see, no error. And at the end now, it's going to print what? Tell you. Look at it, it works. But why is it error? Because I'm using double and single. So you now that you are coding for the first time, you think that that's 16 as single and double now. Let me just put it like that. Or maybe your intention to put double. Or maybe you put double and you can't clean it. Then you first again, nothing as single and now run the code. Think that already put in quotation to give you an error. To give you an error, not be crying. Where is the error coming from? But I put quotation here now. When you run the code, at least you tell you that this particular stuff, you look at this out here. Maybe I do it for the first time. There should be a problem between these guys. This is double, this single. Try and attempt to it. If they don't know the problem, just try and attempt to it. So it's not the most to know the problem between the problem. Like me, I know that one is the problem, not the solution. Some of them that are going to do here, want to know the solution. We won't give up, sir. Like if you miss, I will give up. I will say let's leave it, let's go from that one. It's not everything can solve at the same time. So maybe I've learned that to that point to go to the book to yourself. But if you try, you get it. So I'm waiting for people to share me their screen or tell me they are done. I hope I answered
Yes.
So I'm done.
So I'm also done.
Okay, so you don't need to share your screen. What do you get as the answer?
Pressure drop detected. Increase.
Okay, I use 4.5 as the daily production, and it says production string.
Okay, so that means someone has been able to type it and the print it out and it works. So may I put 4,000 ahead production stable.
Type 2,999.999. So he said production drop detected. Increase it.
Now they are waiting.
2,999.999.
Abi?
Yes.
2,999.999.
Yes, sir.
It's not for 2,000, Abi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, this one now. I know that you have this. There's something that they call that they explain to me when I was learning C++.
JavaScript.
About this guy. I think it's the same to this Python. When I was learning Python, I think if you are learning programming, you get to the point where they have to explain this thing for you. Now the good thing is that they explained it to me. I was through and I understood the concept. Then they have to tell me that I want to that is why when you are coding an experienced programmer, you have to do it this way. This way means you have to do it not show me the way you do it. So that when someone like this, they're not going to be having something like this. Because this is an error, right? This is an error, right? I'm going to be having production stable, should you? I'm going to be having production stable. I'm going to be having production stable. I'm asking. I was asking the person that
Sir. Yes, I can hear you, sir.
I'm asking you, are we meant to have production stable?
No, production drop. Because the number that I imputed was less than 3,000.
That means that one's correct. But I want to explain something to you. Okay, normally your own is correct, right? It's less than. Fine, that one's correct. I'm going to have production stable. Okay. Make you have production stable, but we have production tested. That means you're having something different, right?
Yes, sir.
That means it's correct now. What they said is correct, Abi. Your own is
Yes,
correct.
yes, sir. It's correct.
Sorry, I'm just confusing myself. But I want to show you guys something. I was confusing myself, but I want to show you guys
I
something.
want
Let me
lost
show you
out.
something that happened in Ghana. So, watch. Here now, we have 2999.9. So this particular one, actually, this guy here, let me copy it. Let me copy it and paste here.
Control C.
It is actually correct that 2999.9. This is less than this. So normally this will print out. Let's give me a second.
Yeah, this in the auto save. Oh. I want ask am. So if you want to use Visual Code, take the do Python. How? Shey Python get your own app. Python 3. Why I want to show in Python 3?
Explain to me. I cannot try to put it here, but if you have something like this, 299.999, you can have this thing printing out production stable, meaning that the system is going to assume that what you have written here
It
is
will round
actually
it up.
the same thing as, like, it's actually the same thing as 3,000. You know, they ask for less than. That means if it is the same, it's going to have production word stable. So this system can detect this thing to be 3,000, and that will be a problem because it will be an error, even though you put less than. But the system is recognizing this to be 3,000. It's going to round it up by itself. It happens in coding. So there's a way that you are going to correct that thing. The correction is the way you have to correct it. That if that thing happen, do not correct it. So that if anybody is not going to round it up to be what, to be 3,000.
Why your own dey
Because
lag?
if you observe that, if I put 3,000 here now, I'm going to have production stable.
Hmm?
So I want to explain that earlier on, but since there's no need of me explaining it because the code
It dey
work
lag.
well, so I'll just let it go. Because the honest truth is that I don't know the scenario where it usually happen again. But let me just show you what I'm trying to.
Now they make
I want this code. I will have 2,999.9999. So you have production job detector, which is actually correct. If I want the code again, if I put 3,000, I will have production stable. Now, what I'm trying to explain before is that some code, some coding, something that has happened that when you go and put here 2,999.999, the system is going to see it as 3,000. It's going to round it up by itself and go and write production stable. It happens, but since it's not happening here, let us believe that everything is working fine. So I just want to bring that to your attention. That one now is now like a problem in the coding system, but they can solve it. There's a particular way when you solve it. Look at this guy now. 7 divided by 2. Print 7 divided by 2. I want this code. 7 divided by 2 is what? 5. This is what? Float. 7 divided by 2 is 3. This is what? Integer. Now, my first slash is normal division. My 2 slash, it is what they call floor division. Floor. This float. This is float division. This is float division, meaning that I change it to like integer.
Yes.
Now you can see that I can actually convert my division to be integer without me writing int there. So this scenario now can happen that when you type in something in coding, instead of you to just put 3.5, if you go and give it 4, I'm telling yourself that but it's not to 4. But that is actually something that you might not observe, you might not see throughout your coding career. But people
Do you know
that
teachers
in
are even
that
open on
that
Sundays?
in that particular
Both teachers are
issue,
open on
they
Sundays.
see it, they solve it. So let me just let that go.
Oh,
Now we are going to be doing
I know if
mini
you go
students
market
practice.
tomorrow. If I wait, I go use that money.
So this is actually for everyone. This is for everyone.
If
Many
I don't come
students
back to
practice
tomorrow.
tax. Write a program that asks for gas output.
Eh?
If output is above 15,000, print high gas output. Otherwise, print normal output. So I think I've already done this already. So everyone should just write this and run your code and tell me your answer. If you have done this one, why I'm explaining, share your screen. If you have not done it, do it now and share your screen. Remember, use the word gas output. You must type gas output while you're writing your code. Make it to be English in form. And use the word high gas output or what normal gas output. Write it like normal petroleum engineering way. Don't just write anything you want to write.
Ask for
All right,
gas
I'm
output.
waiting.
If output is
Everyone get my point.
yes, sir. Ask for gas. Okay. Gas underscore output to be equals to float open brackets input open brackets enter gas output. If gas underscore output if gas underscore output is what is above that's greater than 15,000, print what again? Print high gas output. Else print
Done, sir.
normal output. Oh yeah, run.
All right, please share your screen, man. I mute my mic. I was responding. Please share your screen.
Normal output.
Okay, so
Okay, after him, you share your screen, please. Are you done putting numbers? Eh?
Sir?
Are you done putting that number?
No.
Huh?
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, I will say 1, 2, 3. Okay, it is the program that is writing that number by itself.
Yeah, I activated it. You can turn it on in the settings.
Oh, like big boy, a big boy, a big boy. Okay, a big boy. All right. They say gas output float, enter gas output. Okay, output is 15,000. Okay, you're using the slash n. If output is greater than 10,000, print I gas output. Print output. Okay. This is nice. At least you use the slash n, and I think you have used everything you have learned today. That is fine. Congrats. Let someone else share your screen. Please stop sharing.